The ceasefire in Iran has been shaky since it started or was announced on Tuesday. It was announced that uh, peace between Iran, Israel, the U.S., and its allies in the Middle East has been reached, and that Lebanon was a part of this agreement. However, the last few days we've seen horrible strikes targeting Lebanon. Recently, the one, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday, that resulted in the death of over 250 Lebanese, and a whole bunch of bombs targeting different locations in heavily populated hubs of Lebanon, Lake Beirut, and other areas. Civilian infrastructure has not been spared the wrath of Israeli warmongering and hate. Um, Iran and even Pakistan, who is mediating the ceasefire, both said that Lebanon was a part of the ceasefire, but Israel rejected that, and the United States renegated on that. Because when the ceasefire was announced, Trump said that it was for everyone in the region, including Lebanon. And now the White House and members of his administration said that was not the case, including J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth. And now Trump seems to be going back on those claims, which is a dangerous precedent for the Middle East peace prospect, because as long as you got Israel warmongering across the region that's trying to de-escalate, there will be no peace. Israel continues to attack Palestine with full immunity and no accountability. Just recently this morning, I saw that the Israelis approved another illegal settlement plan of over 32 settlements in the occupied West Bank. This is not good because it just shows that Israel is using the fog of war to further the racist Greater Israel scheme, which, as many people know, would span from Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, into parts of Egypt, Iran, and Saudi Arabia, as well as a few other countries, Iraq. The world doesn't need more conflict right now. What the world needs is escalation, de-escalation, peace, and reconstruction, so that civilians who are targeted the most in these unfortunate conflicts can start to rebuild their lives. This conflict has been going on in the Middle East for a long, long time. It started small in Palestine in October. Well, it didn't start then. The current conflict started on October 7th, and it continued to escalate, unfortunately. We started with Palestine, and that's still going. Israel is still occupying them, still oppressing them, still killing them, and it's not getting better. We've also seen they've the Israelis have attacked Syria when Syria had the uh, super fast coup, and Assad was ousted there and sent to Russia. Israel saw that as an opportunity to occupy more of Syrian territory. And now we see Lebanon also getting attacked by Israel, which isn't new since Hezbollah did technically come to the aid of Palestinians on October 8th and help launch attacks on Israel to defer deterrence. But Israel continues to attack its neighbors with no respect for international law, for human life, for anything. Spain said it best: Netanyahu's contempt for international law and human life is of great concern and disgusting. But yet, you don't see anyone doing anything about it. I mean, it's been, I don't know, it's been like 3 years, and the whole conflict is just spiraling out of control. Gas prices are up beyond what the American consumer wants to pay. Affordability hasn't gotten better, and you still got a rogue state trying to be a hegemony power in a region that it is a foreigner in. No one wants Israel in the Middle East, except Israel and the United States and some countries in Europe. Sorry, my hand hit my phone. But it's like I was saying, you can't have peace when you have one bad apple constantly escalating and trying to cause chaos and destabilize the entire region. It's not working. The war with Iran, part two, did not work. Israel achieved none of its goals. Luckily, they got a lot of economic costs. Human costs wasn't as bad for Israel, I guess, but they took a lot of hits. The U.S., you saw Donald Trump making genocidal statements of ending a whole civilization of 90 million people in Iran if they didn't agree to a deal. But Trump was getting fed up with it too. It's obvious we've seen this, but he didn't want to stop. He doesn't want to stop. Even with the ceasefire, he still makes statements of saying how they're gonna stay near Iran until something happens. He mentioned how something on his troops truth social how he says America's gonna strike back with greater, bigger, and better attacks if the ceasefire fails. Like, Donald Trump isn't exactly in a position to make these statements right now. I mean, considering the fact that these could be considered useful for if he gets impeached, or should it happen, they invoke the 25th Amendment against him and have him out of power, out of office. It's just it's just interesting to think about because when the war started on February 28th, Trump was bragging about how it's gonna be a quick war. It's gonna be in and out, just like that, like Venezuela. Um, it did not. It took the entire of March. We're in April now, and we're just getting a ceasefire, and it's not a stable ceasefire either. Before I forget, before I go further, make sure you hit those likes, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that like button above, drop some chats down below. But as I was saying, this whole war was unnecessary because we're essentially back at the same point as when we started, except Iran has some stronger points. Its leaders have been killed, yes, but it's still in a strong position. The United States and Israel, on the other hand, are not. I mean, the amount of material loss that both sides took and human lives, like the American public is tired of endless wars, especially for Israel, especially in the Middle East. We mean, look what happened with Afghanistan, look what happened with Iraq. We don't want these again. And the fact that Trump didn't even go to Congress to get approval for the war just shows how illegal it was. But what can you do? It's Donald Trump. He'll do whatever. According to him, he can do whatever he wants. His only limitation is his mindset. Shame. But honestly, well, the negotiations for the ceasefire are, should they continue, take place on Saturday in Islamabad, Pakistan. It looks like the U.S. is sending the people. Um, I don't know if it's going to be Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff this time. It looks like it may be J.D. Vance and a new batch of negotiators. Iran, I don't know. We haven't really heard much from them who they're sending. Um, and then Pakistan is hosting it. So hopefully, I hope, as most of the Middle East does as well, that negotiations end up bearing fruit this time. Right now, the biggest detractor is Israel, with the constant attacks on Lebanese territory, civilian populations, and their lack of regard and respect to human life and to peace, honestly.